Now, when it comes to Tyler the Creator, well, now, if you are ready to see how Tyler just told us that he is about to be taking a very long break from music, and with this, we are seeing the departure of one of the most important voices in hip hop. But also, with Tyler doing this, it is revealing something to us that is gonna shock everybody. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And now, really, when we look at hip hop, not just for the last year or two, but really for the entire decade of the 2020s so far, and even before that, we are seeing a figure who has defined and been so central to the pantheon of the entire culture that we have known get ready to take a step back. Well, really make sure to leave a like if you have not already, because it really does help me out. But now with Tyler the Creator, listen, Tyler is somebody that when it comes to how he speaks, I'm not even gonna misquote him, and you can see exactly what he was hinting to right here in his show during the Chromakopia tour in the Philippines, when in between songs he said this.
I'm excited to go home and think about if I'll ever really tour again, because I'm not 20 no more, and I can't lie to y'all. I'm at that part of my life where, man, I've done enough. Let me go take a very, 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 very long break.
And now with Tyler the Creator saying this, I know Tyler has obviously been a troll all the way up until this point in his career, where he says one thing and then does another and just likes throwing fans off guard and confusing them or just getting them away from him. This is not one of those times, and when you really put together what Tyler the Creator has been trying to do ever since he stepped back outside in 2024 and all the way to now in 2025, and how he's closing his run out, this really does feel like a final chapter in hip-hop in terms of Tyler just being the Tyler that we have always known and seen him as. And what I specifically mean by that is, now while there has always been fake-out retirements in hip-hop, and guys like Eminem, Jay-Z, Logic, and so many others said they were stepping from music and then came back pretty much only a few years later, if not sooner, for Tyler the Creator, I'm not getting those vibes here at all. And really, when we go through the absolute all-time run that he has had in 2024 and 2025, that really, when we look at it in its totality, I only think isn't talked about and praised enough because Kendrick Lamar has just had one of the greatest runs in the history of maybe music at the same time. Really, for Tyler, when you hear him talk about this and even just see how exhausted he is from touring, well, now, unlike somebody like Drake, for example, you know I had to bring him up, who can't get off of his current tour because he has signed some sort of a massive deal where he is pretty much forced to do whatever shows and wherever they tell him to go at any time. And this isn't just speculation, but this is something that Drake has literally alluded to in messages where he was venting to people about how Live Nation pretty much just tells him what to do and he can't do anything about it. For Tyler the Creator, this has never been the way he has operated, both in terms of the projects he puts out and the touring schedule that he has chose to have, which here, when you look at the Chromakopia tour and see how between the shows he has been doing and then also the music festivals, Tyler has done about 100 live performances in the past year. This is something that no artist, especially one who is as thoughtful and calculated as Tyler the Creator, would do unless they were planning to have this big send-off and really this moment where they are just going to take a long hiatus from what they have been doing for the past 15 years or something. And when I say that, and when you really see how this is ending for Tyler the Creator and how everything is lining up, well, the vibes I get from Tyler the Creator and what he is giving us right now is not something like the Jay-Z Black Album, or not something like Eminem's Encore and the eras that followed those artists, or even things from like 50 Cent or Logic where they said they were going away and then they came right back. But honestly, what this is all reminding me of is one of Tyler's idols who did the very same thing and really did stick down to the retirement as much as an artist can, in none other than Andre 3000 and his entire era and chapter around the Love Below, which now very similar to Tyler, as Andre released his most commercially successful album in that time, did a huge tour and performance and got every single thing he needed to out, all the way to the point where it gave him the best send-off he could have ever had, which of course ended and resulted in not just a diamond album and one of the biggest and most successful singles of the century in Hey Ya, but well, it all resulted in him becoming the only rapper in the history of hip-hop to ever win the Album of the Year Grammy with a rap record in the Love Below and Speaker Box. Well, just like for Andreas, he checked off the remaining boxes that anybody could have ever had to question his GOAT case back in 2003 and 4. What Tyler, the Creator, right now in 2024 and 5 is doing really does feel like his version of that and the closest thing we could have ever gotten. Because again, beyond just going to nearly 100 different markets and live venues in both music festivals around the world and in arena shows, which in of itself, when you see the range and span of places that Tyler has went to and you see how exhausted he has sounded when he is talking about it, there has been a big sense of finality during this entire era, and especially when you went to the Chromakopia tour and if you saw the set list and saw how an entire portion of the show was dedicated to Tyler going to a place that looked like his house, and he scrolled back through all the eras by literally pulling out vinyls of every one of his albums, and while just playing songs from them and reminiscing on the good times and the relationships he has built with his fans for over 15 years. I mean, again, while Tyler has played old records at other shows and he has done things like that, to just see it the way he put it together here and really just to give it such a homely feel. I mean, when you just see his comments alongside all of this, it really does start to seem like he has been getting ready to take a very, very long break. And now when artists tend to do this, a lot of times fans get disappointed or they're kind of let down. What I have to say for Tyler is, first off, and I really don't like this phrase, but he is one of the few people who actually lives up to this. He really doesn't have much to prove, and he owes us next to nothing at this point, but even just to give us the transparency and tell us that this is going to be your last time being in the limelight for a while, and giving fans a chance to see you, and giving us multiple albums to listen to for a very long time to come, and just putting together all these other experiences that nobody can match. Ultimately, with that, when you compare what Tyler is doing to his buddy or former buddy, because it seems like they have beef now, Frank Ocean, and how he just disappeared and keeps baiting and switching fans and keeping them always on edge in the worst way possible, you can't really be mad at the guy. And again, when we look at the run that he has had, which has both showed that he is a top-tier musician, performer, and artist, is from headlining the biggest music festival in the world in Coachella, and his set was great, is at the center of such a marquee event. He didn't just put together a great performance, but honestly, he put together one of the best and least chaotic sets in terms of the drama and disappointment of it, which once again, that's kind of a Frank Ocean diss, that we have seen in Coachella in maybe like 10 or 15 years. It really was that good. And in addition to that, as Tyler, the Creator, released what is commercially his most successful album and has had some of his biggest records ever on it in Chromakopia, and of course, that is such an important body of work which has defined him as a human and as a man more than any other project in his entire catalog has. And while as Tyler was kind of telling us, that project was so tolling on him to make and to really get those things out, that then he also made a second album, and this time not even a full year later, of just straight bangers, and that was super fun and enjoyable and perfect for the summer. Of course, in Don't Tap the Glass. Well, when you just stack up that Tyler has put together two completely different but both respectively amazing and ultimately entertaining bodies of work that have just showed that he is one of the best creatives on the planet and that there is nobody doing it like him, which honestly, for a space as competitive as hip-hop and the music industry, it pretty much puts him within the top echelon of not just rappers, because we know he's on that level that only Kendrick Lamar is at, but well, just musicians in general, because not really anybody else can match this type of output, quality, and success. I mean, with that, and then also showing that on the other side of making singles and studio albums, that you are a top-tier performer by both performing at the pinnacle of live music in Coachella and then doing almost 100 shows around the entire world for all of your fans to see and celebrate. I mean, again, this is what I'm saying, and it's something that I really haven't thought about as much, because everything has been so about Kendrick Lamar and how amazing his run has been. that Tyler the Creator's run has kind of went under the radar, because Chromakopia is a phenomenal album. Don't Tap the Glass is a really fun album, and the shows and the results of what we are seeing really do speak for itself, especially when you see the numbers and data, which is showing how successful Tyler the Creator's tour has been, which if we want to break down the per show splits of all of that, just to put this into some context, and this is what's crazy about Tyler's power as an arena act, is that, well, if we compare Tyler to somebody like the Cupcake Karen Drake, he is pretty much doing shows that are in more demand than him, and if we look at somebody like J. Cole, Tyler's shows have done more than his last tour did altogether, which is genuinely a crazy thing. And not to get on this tangent, because this is not the point of this video, but also to me, when you look at the musical quality, the respect he has for the culture, the respect he has for the craft, and the actual quality, merit, and success of all of his work, which is right on the level of these other guys. To me, the rap game has Kendrick Lamar at number 1, Tyler at number 2, and everybody else below them, and it really has not mattered for a long time, because that's how big the gap has been. Also, I do think that Tyler is the number 2 in the big 3, however you want to put it, if we're actually looking at the right things. And really with that, when we see that Tyler has given every single thing that he possibly could have to his fans, and then you also see that for Tyler, he has accomplished some of his biggest dreams ever as an artist and as a figure in hip-hop, which, well, in his run of this, there's 2 things that really stick out, with the first being his performance at the Pop-Out, which when he came out and What's Your Name played, again, Tyler told us in that Hey Now freestyle, it sounded like Kendrick brought Pac out. For those who did not know, that was really a telltale moment that showed how big of a superstar Tyler the Creator really is, and what type of level he's really operating on, period. Really for Tyler, and as he said this in the interview he did with Peter Rosenberg and Ebro, which also, just quick side note, there was a big sense of kind of closing his career out and being tired from everything there, which did say a lot in terms of how he was moving already. Tyler did go on to say that after always kind of being looked at as the weird guys from LA and never being accepted like the Kendrick Lamars, the YGs, or the Nipsey Hussles were, seeing him truly command a superstar presence in the key of form, which of course is right within their home grounds, that meant everything it ever could have. And when you also see that Tyler the Creator did a song for the rappers who he has said inspired and taught him how to rap in the clips, and well, he did it over a beat that was produced by his idol in Pharrell Williams. Well, again, this is something that I'm not guessing about. Tyler straight up did tell Zane Lowe that being a part of POV from the Clips album was one of the best moments of his entire life. And when you hear that song and see how big of a moment it was for Tyler, as he really got to rap alongside Push and Malice and put up an all-time great feature verse and one of the best features of the year by far, again, this is something that you can't blame him. And when you really look at his checklist, from the tours to the albums to the success, I mean, Tyler has really accomplished everything. And even as we look at it now, as Tyler is getting ready to finally get off this tour and after that go inside for what I am assuming is going to be a few years at the very least, for the most part, in an industry where every album pretty much besides Kendrick Lamar's GNX has came and went. Well, aside from Chromakopia, which did numbers when it dropped, and it had some big songs like Him and Sticky, which performed exceptionally on the charts, well, now Tyler has the top streaming rap album in the entire world once again, in none other than Don't Tap the Glass. And as that record is gaining a lot of traction right now, and Sugar on My Tongue is becoming a bigger and bigger hit, and it's all around everywhere on all the different charts, and it's really only rising at this point because it's getting radio play as well. Well, when you see this and see that Tyler is leaving with an album where he just made it with a different intent in his career, which was to just have fun and entertain and release something out into the world that he felt he needed to show everybody, despite it not being as perfect as he said compared to his regular work. Well, once again, just seeing the merit of Tyler dropping an album where he put in maybe, let's say, half the effort he usually did, but still seeing it dominate and stand over everything else in not just the rap game, but in the entire music industry, this is just another testament to his greatness. And once again, if Kendrick Lamar is the Nas of this generation, or the Tupac, or somebody who represents the mold of what the greatest rapper needs to be, Well, Tyler the Creator has been the Andre 3000, who has shown just how far you can take rap in terms of the spectrum of creativity that hip-hop can stand on. And well, just by being uncompromisingly himself, he has reached a level of genuine superstardom that when we really stack up the album performance, how the entire world wants to see him play in buildings that fit about 20,000 people a night, and then you see him standing at the pinnacle of not just the rap genre, but at Coachella and these bigger and bigger cultural events and centerpieces. If you ask me, Tyler has really reached a place in rap where he has stood higher than J. Cole ever has, and he has stood higher than Drake ever has off the merits of actual hip-hop music and not grifting some garbage. And I think that's really underrated, and I do think that stands for a lot, especially in this era where the integrity and culture of hip-hop has never been more endangered and needs somebody to stand up for it. And now with that last point said, while I do say and think that Tyler the Creator is one of the few people who really has nothing left to prove on his resume, and he has earned a long break if he wants to take it, it is important to note that first off, even with events like Camp Flog Gnaw, which is supposed to happen once again this year, and I'm not sure what will happen the year after, while Tyler the Creator may be done being this artist who has to constantly create these albums he feels like, or just tour at the level that he has now, or for the last few tours even, I don't think Tyler is done at all in terms of being a presence within the culture and being somebody who is trying to just uplift great art. And well, what I mean by that is really with Tyler the Creator, out of all of his traits which have made him the great and one-of-a-kind person and personality that we know him as, one of the things that I admire most out of Tyler the Creator, and especially compared to the other superstar rappers of this generation and era, I think it's an intangible that only he possesses and at that uses it in the right way, is his ability to be a gatekeeper for hip-hop culture and to be somebody who genuinely has the guts and cares enough about the field of rap to just call out something whack, whether it's a friend who was a feature of his who tried to sue him on the Clip song POV, or it's calling out somebody like Ian for just being this weird abomination of a grifter that we have seen in rap, and it just represents the worst things about the culture. And really for Tyler, why I do think he will probably keep Camp Flog Gnaw no matter how his capacity as a performer stays in it, is because he loves rap and loves music so much that he knows that he is one of the few individuals who actually possesses the ability to not just have the level of influence to change the culture, but he's one of the only people with the guts to speak up about pretty much near anything. And again, in this time where we are finding out that there are more freak weirdos in the industry and the actual integrity and core of hip-hop has never been under more scrutiny because of all of the losers and drama that has been created around it, Tyler does very well understand that he is one of the only people who has a chance to actually stand on and preserve the very art form that he doesn't just feel like he has to protect, but that again, when you hear him speak and hear him talk about his love for not just big things like Clips or Pharrell, but for random details, random albums, and random artists that would probably be lost to time. I mean, I don't know if there is a bigger student of the game in any field than Tyler the Creator and his love for rap and music. And just with that, I don't know how he is exactly going to ever return and what he will do after he gets off this tour, which he seems exhausted from. But I definitely know that if rap needs somebody to stand up and speak on the betterment of the culture, and if rap really does need that gatekeeper to come out and close it off to all of the vultures more than ever, Tyler is going to be that guy, and he is going to continue to do whatever he needs to try and make sure that the thing he loves and that the thing he says and expresses has changed so many people that he loves lives, to just keep standing and functioning as the tool that it has allowed him and so many others to change their lives from, and change so many others from their own expression and storytelling. And so really for Tyler, when you look at what he is saying here and see how he is about to do some sort of an exit from music and an exit from the limelight, while again, you can't blame him for not wanting to drop the albums at the level of mastery that he has been for so long, because this is something that is clearly so tolling on him and it takes years to do, and he's clearly not the best personally when he is in this mode. And really, you can say the exact same thing about the touring, which is not an easy job, especially when if you have seen the Chromakopia tour or any Tyler show, you know what I am talking about. But ultimately, just the level of detail and effort that he is putting into these performances. Well, really for Tyler, this is the end of an era, and it's seemingly one of the greatest runs we have ever seen in rap coming to a close. But again, While I do get a sense of Andre 3000 finality to everything we are seeing here, I don't think that Tyler is going to go for as long as Andre did, and I do think that there is still a chance that he ends up releasing music once again when he is ready to do so, but at his own pace and not on the schedule that he has been expected to for so long. And so honestly, just with this, as Tyler the Creator is finishing up one of the best tours that I have ever seen in my life, one of the best tours that hip-hop has had, right alongside Kendrick's Grand National Tour in maybe the last decade as a whole, and well, he's just closing off a run where he has accomplished every single thing that not just a rapper, but an artist could ever want, and at that, he did it without ever compromising his integrity or style once. Well, truly for Tyler the Creator, he is one of the greatest rappers of all time, and whenever he's ready to return, and no matter what he does, nothing can take that away from him at this point. And so now with all this said, let me know. What do you think about Tyler the Creator teasing that this run he is on right now is gonna be the end? And what do you think is actually gonna come of this? Do you think this is a fake out retirement like Jay-Z or something and we'll see him back in a year? Or do you think this is really gonna last for a long time and just have big implications on not just his career, but rap as a whole? Now, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about all of this. And now, if you have made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and channel memberships are live if you want to join and support there. It really means a lot. And now, if you want to see how right before this, well now, while Tyler the Creator is tired from touring and he has shown and revealed how exhausting it is, Drake is stuck on tour and he is just embarrassing himself and losing it more than we have ever seen as he is on the road. Well, this is a great way to see the difference between one artist who loves their craft and one artist who doesn't. And if you want to see how bad this is all getting, well, check out the suggested video.